promises that I had nightmares along the way. I made prayers in vain.
Sometimes you actually have to take things off loop in order to get the ball rolling. Welcome to your Night 2 prediction show in place of the regularly scheduled point of view. I am Bobby Munson, and I'm here with my panel of guests to give you all the lowdown on tonight's WrestleMania card. Start with the man beside me. We just wrapped up doing a point of view sports extra that's coming out later today. It's Mark. Mark, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm tired. If you don't know, I will give a little personal background. My son was taken to hospital last night. He's been very, very ill over the past week. My wife took him to the hospital, so I've been worried about him. And then I had my daughter, looked after my daughter yesterday as well while they were at the hospital. Had some good news. He's coming home now. Amazing news. I'm really happy about that. From that, and then WrestleMania was just brilliant. There's a couple of things I'm not happy about from yesterday. One of it has to do with the result, and another one has to do with the audience. Because I'm still trying to make sure if Vegas actually know that they're awake. Am I muted or am I good?
You're good.
No, we can hear you. We don't want to, but we can.
Good. Ed, I'll talk longer. Just
you don't want to.
But yes, thoroughly. Me and Tom were discussing this. We're very tired. I think that's the right word to put it.
I'm awake, but that is with protest.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's the right way to put it.
Mark did one show. Tom did a watch along, so at least he has a reason to be tired. I did 2 shows yesterday, plus watched all the wrestling. Thank you.
Congratulations, you watched wrestling.
I worked yesterday, then watched wrestling.
Sorry, I accidentally muted my computer.
Well, in between bites of his breakfast, Andre, how are you doing this morning?
I'm very tired. I stayed up. I was up till 3 a.m. this morning watching the clusterfuck, and it still wasn't over. Oh my god!
Wait, so you didn't make it to Brody Lee Jr. winning the clusterfuck?
No, I didn't even know. I haven't even looked at results, so I have no idea. I got till it was just a little bit after the local wrestler Harlan Abbott came out that I fell asleep, and not because of him, because it was like 3:15 in the morning, and he had already been eliminated, and I fell asleep because it was when Megan Bain and the other big chick were in there. That's when I fell asleep. I was so tired, I just passed out at that point. But holy crap! Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, let's all shame Ed.
Won't be the first time, won't be the last time.
All right.
I shunned the non-believer up here yesterday for some stupid take he had in the Discord.
Oh, Mark, you've been shunning him since the day he was born, mate.
That's true. Me? Even when I didn't know him, I was shunning him.
Who, me? What
did
I do? What did I do?
Know. Hold on, let me find out what you said that I said shun the non-believer.
You existed.
Oh, CM Punk's theme song.
Oh, yeah. The fact that you think that Cult of Personality is better than This Fire Burns is just...
Yeah, it is.
I hate
Mel, Fire Burns.
I was saying, Mel's on our side. Like, she hates that song. She hates his current song. She loves Fire Burns.
The Cult of Personality is 10 times better than the old one.
It sure as hell wasn't Last Night Live. That's for damn sure.
Oh, that was the worst live version I've heard. That was pretty goddamn rough. I'm sorry.
Few things. There is never a good live song at WrestleMania. They always have the audio issues. They do the best they can. Secondly, Cult of Personality was in Grand Theft Auto. All you were wrong. Mark's got it right.
Yes, Tom agrees with me.
Wow.
I love how we think that Grand Theft Auto is like...
It's
like I said, I love the song.
Oh my god, yes, it was in Grand Theft Auto. I remember now.
I spent my childhood stealing cars and beating people up. Just because it was imaginary doesn't make it any less real.
I did the same thing, bud. Did the same thing.
Well, speaking about towing the lines of kayfabe, it's Ed. How are you doing, Ed?
I'm tired. I work with children.
Every single one of us. I was going to say, Mark, you stole my line, but we're all just exhausted. And it's day one.
I was going to say, Tom stole mine where I'm here under protest, but no, I'm gonna pull the CM Punk. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I work with children.
Okay. All right.
I feel
Well, seeing as everybody's been so goddamn positive here today on this wonderful Sunday, let's go to our very special guest. You might know him from Spoiler Warning, Tom Colley, back joining us for some Night 2 predictions. Thank you, Tom, for being here. How you doing?
I'm doing good. 6 minutes in, we are finally nearly done with the predictions. I'm excited for my annual event, which is the Night 2 predictions now. And can I just say, I am tired.
You can. It seems to be a trend around here right now.
Bobby, how are you?
I'm good.
Bobby,
you know what? I went to sleep shortly after the post show that Ed did last night. I'm not going to complain. I didn't sleep all night, and I got up early, had a good breakfast, did some recordings with Mark.
How dare you be a reasonable human being?
I know.
Well, no. See, this is the thing. Bobby was partying all day yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So Bobby was going to be in a good mood today, regardless of whatever he did yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could have been extremely, lethargic and hungover today, but
that will be later when you host the post show with Ella J.
Drink the water bottles in between, and you'll feel good the next day. It's all good. I got this down to a science. So,
well, you
have to when you're older. You have to.
And also, he's also really excited. He saw Jacob Fatu yesterday wrestle at WrestleMania. So,
and that was a great matchup as well too. So I can't complain about it. But speaking of the matchups, let's go on to Night 2, gentlemen, and what we expect to see from this card. Starting with the match that is supposed to open things up, we got the Women's World Championship triple threat match. It's Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair versus the champion IYO SKY. I'm going to start with you, Tom. Thoughts on this one? What should we expect, and who's coming out the champion?
So a couple of points one I want to make and two I don't. The first one, I have to make an immediate comparison to the triple threat that main evented the night before. The heat behind all three individuals is incredible. We've had two triple threats, one each night, that just have a lot to offer and really keep us hyped up. So I'm excited for it. And they've got chemistry. We can remember the backlash match between IYO SKY and Bianca Belair. We've seen the work between Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY. They've got the chemistry. If it's anything like the Gunter, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus match, I'm sold. The second comparison is a storytelling, though. The one I don't want to make. This screams Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Benoit.
Fair enough. All right, Ed, your thoughts on this one?
I think this could be match of the night, but then again, you can say there's about 5 or 6 of the matches on this card on Night 2. It's the premier night of the card. I want 2 things out of this. I want IYO SKY to retain, and I want Bianca Belair to turn heel. I think I talked about it last night on the post show. I think you have immense storytelling potential if you turn Bianca based on the result of Naomi losing last night, especially if Bianca loses clean and gets pinned by IYO SKY here. I think you can really do a lot of fun and interesting things with Bianca coming to the realization that Naomi was right all along, that Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley and people like that just don't belong. And she goes ahead and she turns heel and she joins Naomi. I think there's a lot of fun and interesting things you can do there, especially when you're going to have face. I think what you should do is have face women's tag team champions by actually putting the women's tag team titles on an NXT tag team on Tuesday night. Because Raquel and Liv can do other things, and then you can put Chemical X there, and they could eat a loss to Bianca and Naomi, and then you can go back to booking those women's tag titles.
All right, flip-flopping the belts. That's Ed's way to go. Andre,
your
thoughts on this
Just
one?
throw them all over the place.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Honestly, I want IYO SKY to win this. I think she will. And again, Bianca going heel is the best possible move they can do. Have her paired with Naomi. They can keep, work. They did great work as faces with the tag title. They were doing great work. Putting back on them as heels, I think it'd be a fun new version to that story. Again, it's hard to not agree with everything I just said, which hurts me so much inside. Even though he is my boy and my co-host, it hurts me inside to agree with Ed like that.
Enjoy the hate.
Agree with Ed. Well, here's someone who doesn't usually agree with Ed. Mark, your thoughts on this matchup?
Oh, I hate Ed because I agree slightly with him. It's really irritating. It's really. I do and I don't. I don't think Bianca should turn heel at Mania. I think it should be the Raw after Mania. I think it should be tomorrow. Yeah, that I think it should happen. I think she should be the one who takes the pin. I think IYO should retain the championship. I don't agree with the tag team championship match, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. What I think about that going forward. But this match is good. This match has the potential to be, because I think it's been a very unique storytelling from that, where a lot of people thought Bianca was getting booed because she was in Europe. She then goes back to America, still gets booed more than anyone. IYO seems to be the slightly more babyface compared to Rhea Ripley, but they're both getting the same amount of cheers. I think that can help Bianca turn heel even easier, saying you lot just didn't like me anyway. You wanted me to fail, that type of thing, like Naomi's done. I'm interested to see how this goes. All three of them are what I would class the now and the future. All three of them are everything that the women's division needs in WWE. Three strong, different styles, independent, don't need anyone else. And I'm just excited for this. I think this could be either the greatest WrestleMania triple threat match, that women's triple threat match I think we've ever seen. I think that this got the standard to potentially be that.
Fair enough. And because it's 420 today, I am not going to give my typical standard, like, make sense of things, wrestling reviews and predictions. Today, you're going to get my batshit crazy, none of this is actually going to happen reviews. What's going to happen in the following triple threat match is we're going to have interference from Jade Cargill. She's going to take Bianca Belair out. Rhea Ripley's going to get the belt only to lose it tomorrow night to IYO SKY to prove that IYO is that thorn in Rhea's side and that she just can't get the job done when it comes to IYO, so that we can flip-flop that belt back a few more times just to make it a little less relevant than all the other belts on the show. Boom, one down. Let's go to the next one.
By the way,
unless anyone has any more thoughts you want to add to my bullshit. But...
No. We'll leave it. By the way, STG, I will say I was close with my batshit crazy prediction. I was close.
Yeah. And we know who you stole it from. Anyway.
And he's in the room with us.
He really is. Up next, the women's tag team titles. And even though this graphic is already outdated and not correct, we have got the champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, taking on Lyra Valkyria and a potential mystery partner, I think, is maybe the writing's on the wall. Who knows? Anyway, let's go to Ed first. Ed, who do you think the mystery partner is going to be and who's walking away the champs?
I did this again last night. More heel turns, more shenanigans. Becky Lynch becomes the partner for Lyra Valkyria because we have the instant connection there. We already did the storytelling here on television. And Becky Lynch wants to win the one thing she's never won before. No. It's not the tag team titles. They don't need those. She wants the Intercontinental Women's Championship. She turns on Lyra Valkyria during the match, walks away, much like Roxanne Perez did, but this time smarter, so that the whole crowd actually understands that she's walking away, unlike they did yesterday during the pre-show. And then Liv and Raquel retain. They go to NXT. They lose. And you have an inbuilt storyline between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship. Why? Because we need more female heels on Raw.
Okay. Andre, do you agree with that, or you got a different take?
You're on mute.
Come on, Andre.
Shit. I was eating, so I was trying not to make noise while I was eating. I did. I've been inspired by Bobby, you know?
This is the worst weekend to be inspired by me in any way, shape, or form. Trust me.
Oh, no. I was going to say Becky Lynch coming back, but I look at it as Becky Lynch comes back, her and Lyra Becky win the tag team titles together. That's where I differ from Ed is. I think they're going to win the titles together. And then Bayley's going to come out, and then we're going to get a Bayley-Becky feud coming out of it because Becky's the one that took Bayley out.
Fair enough. Mark, how off the rails can you take this one?
I'm going to go with, I think Roxanne Perez is the one who took out Bayley because she never got the stand and deliver WrestleMania moment that she wanted. I think that they're going to carry that feud on to the start with Roxanne now going to be on the main roster. I think Becky Lynch may have put it up to it, or Becky Lynch said sweet nothings to Roxanne Perez to do it, or a way that that I think it could go one of two ways. I think that's my number one. But the other two I'm thinking of is Becky comes out with Lyra. They either win it or they don't. But if they win it, I think the Raw after Mania, she'll turn on Lyra to then do the feud. Or if they don't, she then turns on Lyra straight after the match. I think whatever happens, we're going to be walking into a Becky Lynch heel turn, because you can, but it would be weird to have a husband and wife on the same brand that are not heels at the same time, or faces, that type of thing. I think it would be a lot more interesting even if you added her to the as I call it, the Lost Souls, but I don't know how they're going to go with it if Seth Rollins does go that route, which I'm already predicting for it. I'm just interested. She is, and I agree with you with that. She just seems to be, let's put her in a match to make sure she can put someone over, but no one really cares about the person she beats because she's been there too long. That's my.
Yeah, well, that will change Tuesday night when she puts over Vecchia.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this and seeing what this match is. I think this match has got a bit of a banger to it. Liv Morgan's had an absolutely tremendous year. I think she's so underrated, and now she's really flourishing under whatever's been going on since taking out Rhea Ripley. She's really shown into this place. The way she's sort of nagging in the greatest luchador that's ever existed, Dominic Mysterio's ear, about them splitting up the Judgment Day, doing that. I just think the whole character of Liv Morgan this time around has been phenomenal, and I think she deserves a WrestleMania moment, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Tom, are these guys getting close? Is what you're thinking, or there's some twist in the tail?
Before I go into this, I first want to see what Mark was referencing when he talked about his batshit prediction and who he got it from.
You're one with the Rock coming down and doing all of that on night one. I heard you say, I think I heard you say it once, but then I added a bit of a mental side to it, where I said The Rock, John Cena, and Travis Scott were going to come down to the ring at the end of night one and destroy Roman Reigns and CM Punk for Seth Rollins to win, which then Seth Rollins will then go on to night two to help John Cena against Cody Rhodes.
Cool. So I wanted to check in on that because there is a few people here who do check out Spoiler Warning, and it's interesting hearing a lot of my own words coming straight back to me here. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch situation, my prediction for night one was Seth Rollins winning, a heel turn that leads him to working with The Rock. We've seen the first step there. Paul Heyman takes his orders from someone, and it isn't Seth Rollins. I also mentioned a couple of weeks back, I'm expecting Becky Lynch back this weekend. I'm expecting her back as a heel because heel power couple of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch makes the most sense to me. So based on what we're seeing here, now that we've seen the change for Seth Rollins, but we haven't necessarily seen who's pulling the strings, this seems the best time to bring in Becky Lynch as a way of sort of introducing this couple dynamic, suggesting that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins will be working independently with Paul Heyman and then pulling the rug out when it turns out to be The Rock all along. We'll get into that later. My expectation here is that, yes, it is Becky who attacked Bayley. Yes, we are going to see Becky take the championship from Lyra. And yes, we are then going to see Becky and Bayley feuding into SummerSlam. I don't think there's anything else worth adding there because I think there's some very good matches coming up. I think Liv and Raquel walk away with the championships. And as there's been so much reference to NXT and tag team championships, I'm going to go ahead and make no reference whatsoever.
Tom, I do have a question, though. You mentioned the power couple, dynamic and things like that. Do you think at this point in their career, they are more willing to do the couples thing on screen now that Triple H is here and a little less, we need the romantic side out there and we just want two big stars together as opposed to, we're the married couple, we're the couple in love, yada, yada, yada bullshit that Vince did first time?
Triple H is the big difference, but the reality is they were always open to the idea of working together on screen. It just needed to make sense. And when it was put together previously, it made no sense whatsoever. The only reason they were put together is because of the relationship. At this point, they're being put together because they can dominate a division. They can essentially carry the weight of John Cena, who's going to go missing, of The Rock, who's already gone missing. And in general, they can run a division, run a company, as they always intended. I will also make one final note as regards this match. One of the reasons we've seen Liv Morgan thrive the way she has after injuring Rhea Ripley is a conversation she had with Becky Lynch, which played out very similarly to a conversation Becky Lynch had a long time ago with Shawn Michaels, where Shawn Michaels says, when you go back after filming this movie, act like you already own the place. Liv Morgan's done exactly that for the year, and she damn well does.
Tom, can I ask you a couple of questions? You can say that you don't know the answer, or you're going to leave it for spoiler warning. I don't mind. The two questions are: one, we'll get into AAA in a second, but the second one is Bayley missing Mania. Hasn't gone down very well online. Apparently, this has been planned according to I think it's Fightful. Them and Fightful, I think, have also might have come out. I'm not 100% sure. Is that true? Is Bayley legitimately injured? Is she not? How has this sort of gone down to get to where we are now?
The truth is a bit yes and a bit no, as a lot of these things are, and it does actually involve Roxanne Perez as well. The plan at around Royal Rumble time, Roxanne Perez versus Bayley at WrestleMania. The plan at that time involved a potential Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross tag team versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, with potentially other tag teams involved as well. Then things started to change. The first big change, things are not quite working out with the Wyatt Six. It wasn't believed that there was a good opportunity for Alexa Bliss there. She has a limited date contract, slightly less dates than they were expecting, but they gave her a bit more time off. They then pivoted towards Bayley, but then someone let them know that she was ready to come back early.
Right, okay.
Pop smokes, and yes, we did.
AAA. A quick question on that before we move on. This come out of the nowhere. I know all I know is of the name of them. That's about it. How did this? Do you have any sort of news on that, or have you heard anything on that front, Tom?
I heard a bit since. This definitely came out of nowhere and completely caught wrestling media off guard and mainstream media in general. I definitely was caught off guard by this one, but I'm quite happy with it overall. And from what I've been hearing since, Triple H is usually pretty good at keeping these things quiet from an office perspective. When it's booking, wrestlers talk. But when it comes to deals like AAA, the intention is what they're going to be doing is maintaining the same sort of management structure. It's not going to be a, we bought you, we're going to change you. I do apologize if you can hear vehicles in the background. It is a case of, we've bought you and we want you to keep operating exactly as you are, but we're going to loan some people your way. That's very similar to the deal with TNA. They haven't bought TNA, but they're loaning people out. And when Nick Khan talks about not benching people, this is one of the options that they look at, to loan people out, to get them experience elsewhere, much like running a football club here in the UK, and then to bring them back more experienced and ready than before. They're still talking to New Japan. I'm sorry?
I say almost is the perfect example. They bench people. I'm sorry.
They do bench people. No, that's fine. When Nick Khan said he doesn't bench people, we weren't the target audience for it. The target audience for it were people who are benched in other promotions. He's sending a message to people like the Miros, for example, who aren't necessarily happy elsewhere. When it comes to AAA, I'm excited to see what they can do, but they've essentially chosen an area to focus on. They still haven't announced a pay-per-view or a PLA, I should say, in Mexico. There's a lot of reasons for that, particularly in America First agenda, which they have to sort of balance out with now. So there's conversations ongoing, but it means they can get their talent into other companies, promote themselves in other countries without necessarily spending money going there themselves.
I know I've asked you a lot of questions, and I do apologize. I've got one more to do with AAA, and that's it. Their current world heavyweight champion is formerly known as Alberto Del Rio.
Notable correct, Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, him. Does WWE obviously know? Is there a way of him going telly go bye-byes? Or is there a way of, what is the deal on that end? Do we know?
There will be no special treatment, positive or negative, towards any current wrestlers within AAA.
Okay, perfect. All right, carry on. Let's go. Next match.
Well, I mean, I didn't get to give my thoughts on this match.
Oh yeah, sorry,
that's fine. We don't need you. We don't need your thoughts. That's okay.
Oh, come on. I had the greatest idea. I mean, you guys have got it all wrong.
We don't need your purple haze. We don't need your purple haze.
I was just going to say, it's clearly how it's going to go is Tatum Paxley is going to step in to team up with Lyra Valkyria. They're going to win the belts, creating this really strange predicament about who Tatum is now fighting on the side of, the champions or the non-champions. So they're going to create this brand new type of match. It's a triple threat match where the only way to win is to pin Tatum Paxley. So one of the other ones has to pin Tatum to determine who the champions will be.
Bobby,
there we go.
Bobby,
there you have it.
Bobby, we've done this before. Bobby, this actually already happened. Did you already forget Cody Rhodes?
It's all good. Don't worry about it. It's happening again.
Bob Holly and Cody Rhodes were tag team champions. Ted DiBiase had a mystery partner. Cody Rhodes turns on Bob Holly to become Ted DiBiase's tag team partner, and he walked in and out with the tag team championships on 2 different partnerships.
There we go. See?
There we go.
It's a perfect scenario. I'm not wrong.
Just quickly before we wrap up, there is always a possibility that Becky Lynch is not the partner and this plays out a little later in the day.
Well, yeah, I mean.
There we go. See?
It could be Charlotte.
Just saying.
No, it won't be. It won't be
okay.
Charlotte doesn't do tag teams. Come on, Andre.
No, it's Lola Vice. It's Lola Vice instead.
Oh, God, no, please, no.
All right. Back on track. I mean, I can't believe I ruined us like this. All right, next matchup.
I blame you, Mike.
All right. Oh, let's get through this one quickly. We got AJ Styles taking on the douchebag Logan Paul. Andre, go first.
I actually, this is one of the matches I'm really looking forward to. Not because of the story. Because again, Logan Paul, as much as the giant piece of shit that he is an incredible performer. And AJ Styles is arguably one of the greatest people to ever step into a professional wrestling ring. Psychology, everything. Just what he does is absolute genius. I cannot wait to see what these two do. And the match will be incredible. You're going to do some crazy shit, or like Logan's going to do some crazy shit, something crazy in this match to get that highlight spectacle moment that's going to get them on to mainstream press and Logan Paul, because he's the most mainstream person, and it's going to be an insanity. And I can't wait. And in the end, we see the pulverizer for the win. The pulverizer for the win.
All right, Mark, thoughts on this one?
I'm really excited for this one. I think this is going to be brilliant. I think Logan Paul, as we all say, piece of shit, but absolutely incredible inside of that square circle. AJ Styles, one of the greatest to ever step foot inside of that ring. I wonder if Logan Paul's going to do the tradition of someone being in the prime bottle coming down to the ring with him, because I think we've had IYO SKY, we've had KSI that was in there as well. If they're going to do another, I think they'll go with Joe Weller, who's a British YouTuber, massive wrestling fan. He went over to Uganda recently and did a wrestling match in the Ugandan wrestling ring over there. Has been training with wrestling companies over in the UK. He also got suplexed by Logan Paul in the Sidemen charity match as well. Might be something, maybe a random American YouTuber that no one cares about. Then it might be, or there might not be anything at all. Who knows? But I'm excited for this. I'm going with, because Logan Paul's lost twice now at WrestleMania, hasn't he? He hasn't won one yet. I'm going to go with I'm going AJ Styles.
All right, Dom.
I have to start by echoing the fact that Logan Paul's a piece of shit. Just we have to throw that out there. I think we all that's an important thing to say. Whenever you're previewing a Logan Paul match, it's really important to say that Logan Paul's a piece of shit. Also, very unpopular backstage. They don't like him. Anyway, one of the few who does like him is AJ Styles. So, conspiracy theorists, flat earthers, that sort of garbage. What you can't argue is that they're both very good at wrestling. I don't know how. They're both high flyers, but they don't believe in gravity. It makes no sense to me. Anyway, there's good sounds coming out of WWE about a new contract for AJ Styles. There is now quite well established. Certain wrestlers just sort of bottle it at WrestleMania. Gunter being one of them, for example. And I'm finding that really quite fun as an overall Achilles heel. I have AJ Styles here. And then afterwards, my hope is that we just kind of forget any of this happened and that we all remember what's really important, that Logan Paul is a piece of shit.
Perfect. Ed, how would you like to start this one off?
Oh, Edward.
Logan Paul is a piece of shit.
There we go. There we go.
No, I caught the trend. I caught the trend. It's okay. I agree with everything Tom said up until then AJ Styles wins. I think Logan wins. I think he's due a big moment at WrestleMania. He hasn't had it. He does, regardless what, taking the same line we're taking now with Roman, with John Cena, with Jada Parker. We're doing the same thing now with Logan Paul. He's a piece of shit. We don't like him. We hate him. However, he does this whole wrestling thing really, really well, and he's going to make us a lot of money. So let's give him a big win on the big stage and piss off the crowd.
Quickly, as regards AJ Styles, he did have a big moment. He wrestled the legend that is Shane McMahon.
He also wrestled the other notable prick, Chris Jericho. And,
let's not talk about that.
Why not? Why not?
Noob says AJ is winning, and I will start off with Logan Paul is a piece of shit. And
yes, 5 for 5.
Yep. And despite the fact that these two guys can wrestle, my biggest gripe with Paul is that he is a trash bag wrestler. Everything he does is a copycat of other wrestlers. There is no identity that he is Logan Paul in professional wrestling. Logan Paul is a carbon copy of everything that ever came before him. He's extremely great at executing what came before him. But Logan Paul is the perfect example of somebody who grew up, watched professional wrestling, is athletically gifted enough to do professional wrestling, and copies it exactly like that. There's nothing overly inventive about him, nothing overly creative. The match will be quality because the two guys in there can get work done. They can get it done safely, and the match will end. Yeah, probably. I'm going to say they can't give us all good moments, so it's going to end with a Logan Paul victory here. Nothing bad shit. I don't even know how I can take this one in a bad shit crazy way, other than saying Jake Paul shows up and it turns into a boxing match or something dumb like that. But you
could have gone truly insane and actually said Logan Paul's a nice guy.
No, I could have done that, but there's just no way.
No, you can't.
There's not enough weed in the world to confuse Bobby that much.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how deep into 420 I go, I will not say anything other than Logan Paul's a piece of shit. So. All right, moving on from there. Next match we have on here is the Intercontinental Championship clusterfuck of four guys. Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Penta, and Braun Breaker. And this time we are starting with Mark, who always loves these stuff.
I love things. Do you know what? This match is going to be absolutely phenomenal. The thing that I'm really worried about is I can't pick a winner. I cannot pick a winner. I'm struggling. It's between two people.
Really?
Yeah, easily between two people. This is the hardest. So I think this is going to be phenomenal. I think you've got four superstars that have created this moment for themselves in the way since Braun Breaker has become champion. You've got Dominic Mysterio that's doing the weird thing of trying to help Finn, but then he's got Liv telling him that he can do this. He's the one who can do it. You've got Penta, who's arrived on the scene and been an absolute phenomenal. And I've loved every single thing of Penta. I nearly brought his mask. Me and Ed had a debate for a long time whether we were actually going to buy a mask. And we went online trying to find giveaways.
Well, I couldn't afford it.
Tagging each other. Yeah, nor could I. And we started tagging each other in to try and find a way of both us getting a mask. You got Finn Balor, who's brilliant at what he does. And then you got Braun Breaker, who speared Carlito so much that he booked his own funeral. I'm between two people. I think it's going to either be. I think we're going to be getting a new Intercontinental Champion, and I think it's either going to be Penta or the greatest luchador that's ever existed, Dominic Mysterio. If I have to put my hat on one and know that it's not probably going to happen, but I would love it to happen, I'm going to go. We're going to have a new Intercontinental Champion with Dominic Mysterio.
Interesting. Hello to Bobby Stats in the house. Going over to Tom for your thoughts there.
I want to start by respectfully saying that Dominic Mysterio is a piece of shit. And he's doing such good work because of it. I love everything about this man. I said respectfully. Calm yourself down.
Well,
this man is doing amazing work. Everything he does is beautiful, and I cannot wait until he's the Intercontinental Champion. This is the perfect opportunity to showcase Penta, who's fairly recent to the company and wasn't really involved in creative plans going into Mania. It's a great opportunity for Braun Breaker to spear the actual soul out of Dominic Mysterio, to spear the actual soul out of Finn Balor. But I do think this is the moment at which Dominic Mysterio pins Finn Balor. We begin to see the final days of the Judgment Day as we head into potentially a face turn for the finale of Finn Balor on WWE TV over the course of the next few years. But I just think this is the only way to get the belt off Bron Breakker, because you've got opportunities soon for Bron Breakker versus Gunther. You've got opportunities soon for Bron Breakker to go higher and go up against people like Cena. You've got so many opportunities for who Breakker could now face. And I just feel like the Intercontinental Championship, much like Gunther when he faced Sammy, is actually now beneath him. So I'm going Dominic. I think this will be a great piece of singles gold for him to hold. And honestly, from where I'm sitting, this will be the start of a new era for Judgment Day.
Interesting. All right, Ed, your take on this one.
I think it's incredibly interesting that by happenstance, both the Lucha Brothers end up on WrestleMania. Just because Rey Mysterio accidentally gets injured in a match with Chad Gable. I refuse to call him El Grande Americano. It is Chad Gable.
They're different people.
Put some respect on his name.
They're not different
people. It's different people. It's a Grande
They're
Americano.
not different people. They're not.
He's the greatest wrestler to ever come out of Gulf of Mexico. America.
No. That's
You're going
to Mexico.
You're not going to get tariffed. You need to remember.
Can't be saying that.
You need to remember who you're talking about. I'm not letting you be one of those people who's like, oh, Sami Zayn and El Generico, the same person.
They are. Sami Zayn and El Generico are two different people.
Heresy. Philistine. Anyway.
At the end of the day, I agree with most people and the internet and the booking community as a whole, because I saw
agree with the internet. Bad call.
I know it's a bad move, but I do. I agree. No, I'm not putting respect on his name. No, I refuse.
Gable can't do that.
Chad Gable is doing fantastic work under a mask. He's doing fantastic
Chad
work.
Gable is a mat wrestler. Chad Gable does not do high flying. We all know
Chad Gable also doesn't. He doesn't have the world's strongest headbutt. That's the thing. That's the giveaway.
Not.
Chad Gable. If Chad Gable tried to do a headbutt, he'd knock himself out.
It's like expecting Kurt Angle to be able to do like moonsaults and things. It's not real. You know the reality of the situation here.
At the end of the day, I think Dominic Mysterio becomes the Intercontinental Champion. I think he pins Bron Breakker, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of fun in him pinning Bron Breakker because it won't hurt Bron Breakker. I think you can do a lot of fun and interesting things with this without having to really cheat, but you could have a moment where everybody hits their finisher on Breakker. Dom's the last one to do it. Dom goes ahead and gets the pin. I think that's a fun way to do it. I think it gives Dom that big win. It lets him beat Braun. Braun can then become that main event star that Tom was talking about as he heads towards, I think, the SummerSlam match of Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think you have to push it further down the line. And I think Jey Uso will get his back from the company, and he'll have night one main event of SummerSlam against Bron Breakker. That's my theory, because he's owed a bit of a make do for his Royal Rumble main event win over Gunther yesterday, where he opened the show, because they really need to stop saying you get a main event match and just say you get a title match.
Yeah.
Well, as logical as Dom Mysterio winning the Intercontinental title is, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Finn Balor is going to wrap this one up in less time than any match in WrestleMania history. It's going to be so quick. He's going to walk in there, just going to do the finger poke of doom on Dom. 1, 2, 3, done like dinner, new Intercontinental Champion. And he's going to go off and be the superstar he deserves and leave that squirmy little worm behind him.
Whoa. Who are you calling a squirmy little worm?
That's Dominic Mysterio. That's a picture point.
Yeah.
That's
that little cockroach. I mean, he doesn't deserve anything in life. I mean, he's a former criminal.
He's deadbeat.
I'm sorry. There's only room for one former criminal champion in WWE, and that's Jacob Fatu. So unfortunately, the cockroach Dominic Mysterio has to go.
And there's only one room for Mysterio, not the deadbeat dad.
Just to be clear, I would still love Dominic Mysterio if he was a worm.
Same.
I wouldn't.
Tom's starting to talk like me and Jose were about Dark State yesterday.
Oh God,
yeah.
not that conversation again.
So
I don't know what the conversation was, but you know I already do, so don't you start.
I don't think Bobby's
back and
so out
watch
to
it.
lunch with his pick, because my finish is Dominic hits the Three Amigos, goes up, frog splash on Penta, and off the top comes Finn Balor with his coup de grace to break up the pin and pins Dominic Mysterio to win the Intercontinental Championship.
Don't follow my lead. It's not worth it. Trust me. All right, moving
It
on
was
to the
my
next
plan from
match.
the beginning. You just stole it from me.
Sure. You went first. You could have said it. Next match
I
is
didn't go
a
first.
Sin
That was the
City-
first of my talk. That was I
Mark
was
went
last.
first.
Yeah,
Mark
you
went
didn't even
first,
call
then
on me,
Tom.
jerk.
I didn't
Yes.
call on you?
So
Then-
Andre
then
went
it-
last.
Skipped me.
Andre
I
went
was
last.
No, Andre went. Okay, well, fine then, Andre. I
He
stole it
literally
from you.
just gave his
I read your
2
mind
seconds
and I
ago.
completely
You did.
stole it from you.
We're so
Okay,
organized.
well, because of this, Andre, why don't you go first and tell us who's going to win the Sin City street fight between
I
Priest
don't
and
care.
McIntyre?
When Drew McIntyre took the eye patch off, I stopped caring. No, I wanted Pirate Drew McIntyre. I don't give a fuck who wins this match because Pirate Drew McIntyre is not here. I don't care.
I know
Okay.
who wins this match.
Well, then
Ashton.
why don't you tell us?
Astrid wins this match. She's a big fan of both. She's a bigger fan of Damian Priest. Damian Priest will lose the match, unfortunately, though. So Astrid will be sad about that. But she got her Rollins win last night. I'm sure she'll be all right. But no, Drew McIntyre needs this. Drew McIntyre needs a big win. He needs to be able to be pushed back to the main event. He's given a lot of people a lot over the past year or so. It's time for Drew McIntyre to get some of his back. And plus, he did that great spot on top of the car when he got, and then they let CM Punk walk by. That was great. I love that.
All right. Oh, Mark, you're just itching to give an answer. Why don't you tell us who's going to win this one?
I think this is going to be brilliant. I think both of these men have proven in the past that they will go to any lengths to win a match in any stipulation. If we go back to the Bad Bunny match Damian Priest had, threw everything at that backlash. They threw everything at each other. Damian Priest had other matches, but when it comes to weapons and stuff, that match comes to my mind. And the recent one with Drew McIntyre inside the Hell in a Cell, throwing everything that they could at CM Punk and doing everything. I think you've got the makings here of you've got two main eventers that can main event, but you've got two people. The one's had an extremely good year because of the other. You look at Damian Priest has had a fantastic year, but it was all at Drew McIntyre's expense. Anything that happened with him keeping the World Heavyweight Championship was because of CM Punk costing Drew McIntyre. And I think that Drew McIntyre needs a bit like what Jade Cargill needed yesterday with the win. After you can't be thrown through a car and go and then lose the match. I do think that Drew McIntyre is going to come out with a win here today, but I think this is going to be brilliant and I think this is going to be brutal.
All right, Tom.
Drew McIntyre's had some big moments at WrestleMania, but he keeps finding himself in some very awkward spots that people just don't care about. The last match that Roman had before the pandemic was against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Nobody really cared about it. It was a match where they essentially retired John Moxley before he, of course, became John Moxley. You've then had the match with Seth Rollins where everyone was really talking about The Rock, and we all kind of knew where it was going. Drew McIntyre, unfortunately, just gets paired up sometimes with situations that people don't care about. And I think eventually you kind of have to start looking at Drew McIntyre here. This is a situation where neither of them have really brought much to the dance. I just don't feel that either of them have really been able to connect with it. Maybe it's because it was a bit bumpy at the Rumble. Maybe it's because they squeezed some LA Knight in there. Maybe it's just too long. Maybe it's just too long a wait. But I think since the moment at the Rumble where Drew McIntyre was eliminated, we've also seen wrestling media stick the raw in and get it very wrong very easily. Teasing a lot of potentially better options, stating that McIntyre is not happy to be wrestling against Damian Priest, which isn't true. Stating that he'd be winning the Chamber and representing The Rock, which wasn't true. This is a bit of a mess. Some of it is down to the performers, some of it isn't. I agree with Andre. If you had Drew McIntyre with an eye patch and a parrot, with a rope over his shoulder, pulling a pirate ship down that damn ramp, I am all in. I am as in as you could possibly be. What's actually going to happen, bagpipes, drums, couple of 1-2-3s. Drew McIntyre wins. Yay! What's next? Who cares?
Oh,
Would you be okay with the pirate ship if Kairi Sane was on top of the pirate ship as well?
And
I can't
Paul
imagine a world
Burchill's
in which she
flying around
isn't.
on a. And Paul Burch is flying around
Like,
on,
come
a,
on.
on a rope. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
I
how
have a
Rusev
question.
drove the tank down?
Yeah.
Just as long as Pirate Paul Burchill doesn't make an appearance, we should be fine.
Get
Now,
everyone.
Tom, I have a question for you.
Very strong.
If this entrance were to happen, would you go back to the old Twitch days and wear the pirate hat and the sword?
I don't know where they are because they've moved house since.
No,
I don't think you need to worry.
It can't happen then. We can't have nice things with Tom.
All I've
For
got is
those
a red
that don't
panda.
know, for those that don't know, Tom
God.
used to have an option on his streams back in the early days where you could pay channel points to make him change attires.
Mhm.
And he had like 3 or 4 options. And we were specifically told that we weren't allowed to do any of this while he had a special guest on the show doing the predictions. So me as the moderator, making sure that everybody else doesn't do anything naughty, I decided to do it with said guest, all 3 options in a 10-minute span.
Mhm.
So Tom was dressed in a Christmas jumper at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He was dressed as a pirate for WrestleMania.
Mhm.
And I honestly don't remember what the third one is.
There was a fancy mode.
Was there fancy mode? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And I did all of those, and Tom was slightly mortified.
I just always remind myself it was a lovely viral moment. I've got 10,000 on YouTube. I'm doing okay. Clearly it worked.
All of Tom's success is obviously because of me. No, I'm just kidding. It's because of Tom, but
Literally started watch parties because of you, so you're going to take some credit for it.
a little bit.
All
A
right.
little bit credit.
No
Now
NXT
for-
watch parties. They all went real wrong.
Now for the way.
We had fun during those. Nobody else did. Bobby,
Now
what
for
do you
the
think's
way
going to happen here?
Well, here we go. See, we're gonna make this more fun. See, what's gonna it's a street fight. That means no rules. Anything goes. So what's gonna happen is Big Bronson Reed is coming on back. He's gonna come out there. He's gonna roll out in some sort of fancy vehicle. He's going to take each of these guys. He's going to power bomb their asses onto the top of the vehicle. Then he's going to climb the highest height you could think of, and a double tsunami. Both guys stacked on each other. Double tsunami right through the vehicle. Absolutely destroy the two of them and become the biggest hero in WWE, and before long be a champion. That's how it's going to go down because Bronson Reed rocks. Yes, Tom.
Can I take a pitch on that? Throw in Jeff Cobb and include the pirate ship as well.
Yes, 100%. If you throw all those elements in, you've got a moment, right? Like that's a moment.
You know, you say you want him to jump off the highest point and tsunami.
It's off the pirate ship, obviously.
Right, and off the pirate ship. And you've got Jeff Cobb, and you've also got others as well.
Bronson Reed, yeah.
Can we go a little bit high and shove Jeff Hardy up there as well? Just because
no more Jeff Hardy jumping off
the highest point.
Here's the thing: we're not going to. It's still going to happen.
No more Jeff Hardy jumping off tall things.
Good call.
We'll get him on the moon and just go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm up for that.
All right. So we got 2 more matches. In between these 2 matches, we're going to go over the next match. Then we're going to go to our what we call the lightning round, quick speed round here, where Andre's got a couple of quick topics unrelated to WrestleMania to talk about within 5 minutes, and then we will go to our main event. But first, before we get there, we got to talk about this one. It's the Randy Orton Open Challenge because Kevin Owens has been injured. Hopefully, he recovers very soon and comes back from that horrible neck injury. But Randy needs an opponent, and it could be just about anybody. It could be Bronson Reed. Who knows? Maybe he wants to tsunami the world tonight. But let's start with Let's start with against my best thoughts. Let's go with Mark on this one. Who's going to be that opponent?
I want to do it.
I think we're all going to look back as what day is it? It's the 20th of April, 2025, night 2 of WrestleMania. It is Rusev Day, and I think we're going to be getting Rusev Day. As much as in my inner child really wants it to be Joe Hendry, because it's Joe Hendry, and I really would love to see that happen. It's not going to happen. And if it's Randy Orton, I think we're going to be seeing... Because I also thought as well, while I was watching SmackDown and he was doing it, I was like, could be Aleister Black. It could be Aleister Black. And then the video package come up and went, it's not Aleister Black. He's coming next Friday. So it's like I want it to be Nick Aldis as well. That could be a lot of fun, but I don't think WWE want to put him in the ring. I'm not sure on that one. But I think we're going to be looking at night 2 of WrestleMania from now on to be Rusev Day.
All right, Andre.
All right. So I got a prediction. It does tail into Mark's prediction, but it starts out differently. So Randy Orton makes his way out, and then all we hear is some kind of stupid song by Travis Scott start playing, and it's Travis Scott making his entrance into WrestleMania. He comes out, immediately gets RKO'd, taken, and then Matt Raywolf makes his way out onto the stage, returning as Aiden English for Rusev Day, and we get Rusev making his return.
Wow.
I hate you all.
Wow.
I want him to return to sing Rusev Day, though, by the way. I really want that to happen. But anyway, yeah.
Ed, your mind is broken.
To break
We just have to deal with Lana, so yeah.
Ed, your mind has been broken. Tell us what you think is going to happen in this matchup.
Can we just do the obvious thing for once in the fucking world and just let it be Nick Aldis? For the love of God, can we just do Nick Aldis? The one thing that makes perfect fucking sense in the world. He's never wrestled in a WWE ring. It's his dream. He's perfectly healthy. There's no reason for him not to wrestle. Mickey's here. She has the kiddo here. It's the biggest stage in the world. If he wins, if he loses, it doesn't fucking matter. Let's just let it be Nick Aldis and let everybody be happy.
I want to build.
Yeah, but I want Rusev Day.
Well, you could have Rusev Day on Friday when he comes back.
I don't want Friday. I want tonight.
Today is the anniversary of Rusev Day.
Every day is the anniversary of Rusev Day.
Then it's still the anniversary of Rusev Day.
All right, I want to hear from Tom. Tom, what is actually going to happen in this match?
So, streets are definitely saying it's going to be Rusev. Rusev and Lana have made the trip down to WrestleMania. They were backstage for most of yesterday. Nick Aldis was being set up essentially as a backup in case his signature wasn't dry by that time. I'm not aware that there's interest in Lana at this point in time. Haven't heard anything further on it. But my expectation is that now that there's a pirate ship at ringside and it's broken because of Jeff Cobb and, of course, Bronson Reed, it will, when it fully crumbles, break apart and there will be a tank inside, which then drives the rest of the way down. Rusev would then climb out and celebrate Rusev Day. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I actually think, by the way, because we haven't spoken about this, I think Randy Orton's going to lose.
Fair.
Oh.
It's very fair.
I didn't even do a prediction of who I thought was going to win. Oh.
I don't think anybody did.
Yeah,
I
think Randy gets to win over Travis Scott and lose to Rusev.
Randy Orton lose. Yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter if he wins or loses. So, I mean...
All right, and now for the completely unlogical booking of this entire thing. So Randy Orton comes out, he asks for his opponent, out comes Ric Flair for what he claims is his last match ever, but he says...
No.
I support it.
Come on. He only has it as his last match ever if he loses. If he wins, he then gets a crack at the champion so that he can once again claim his place as the most championship wins in the history of professional wrestling, just to ruin wrestling for every single one of you because he can't stand the idea of Cena ruining it for all of you.
I was going to say, isn't that what Cena's supposed to do later in the night?
But Rick can't sit by and allow that to happen. Rick has never been the kind of guy that allows other people to get over at his expense. Come on, let's.
All right. Now hold on. I wasn't going to do this, but you know what? Sure, we're going to do this. This is a tweet that Ric Flair just put out.
Don't put it in
last
the universe, Ed.
Don't do this.
Stop.
No. This is Bobby Shaw. This is what Ric Flair is doing instead of trying to ruin wrestling for the rest of us. This is what Ric Flair is doing.
Yeah.
I feel
okay.
There you go. That's what Ric Flair is doing. Of all the choices for pictures he could have chosen for his daughter, he chose that one.
I think the last thing I ever want to know is what Ric Flair's doing. Because it ain't for anybody's eyes, and it's probably not legal.
That ain't PG.
All right, Andre, before we talk about the main event, you've got the floor, my man. What topics did you want to talk about in the quickfire?
Quickly. I went on Friday afternoon and saw Queen of the Ring. Absolutely wonderful movie. When this movie comes on, you are in a city that is currently playing it over this weekend. Go and see this movie. I knew very little about this history. This movie takes place from 1935 to 1954, and absolutely incredibly well done. They just ignore the war. Like there's no even though it's in that time frame, they don't even reference World War II in this whole thing. But again, incredible movie. Like just the story told again. Creative license, as any biopic does. There's lots of creative license in how they told this story. But again, and yes, I had 2 dates to this movie. Peggy and Melball both came with me, and we also met up with our friend Shauna at this movie, and a couple other people that we knew at the movie. But again, absolutely incredible movie. I highly recommend it. It's the story of Mildred Burke, Queen of the Ring. The story is incredible. The actors and actresses that put in this movie absolutely incredible. Highly recommend it. It was so good. And then quickly, watch part of Bloodsport. It was a good show. I've only got up to the Natty match. Natty, man, she killed it on this show. Like I always expect great out of her. And yeah, just incredible. And then the Karrion Kross JR Kratos match. Holy poop. Was that
Pete
and
Dunne
then
versus Timothy Thatcher.
It was okay.
I just felt it was a little slow, in my opinion. It was just more grappling, and again, that's what I'm worried about going into Saber Gresham. Is that it's just
you're not going to be disappointed with Saber Gresham. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
boy, that one was something.
Okay, I'm ready.
Love
for that. I'm
me
waiting
some Saber Gresham.
There's a little bit of trepidation there for me because I haven't gotten to it yet. And I'm like, oh god, it's just going to be just pure.
Very good match.
Okay, good.
Also,
but yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, talking about Bloodsport, I wanted to throw in there. I've never seen a humble Gabriel Kidd. That was really to watch at the end of Bloodsport. That it literally, I'm like, I literally had to go back and rewatch it the next morning just to make sure I didn't, fever dream Gabriel Kidd being halfway decent for even.
Nobody ever fantasized about Gabriel Kidd. Calm down.
I saw a video of that. Yeah.
But you got that at the expense of him taking on a 13-year-old child first.
Yeah, exactly.
Kenny will make it first and worse. Calm down.
The funniest thing about Bloodsport that I found was how British the Englishmen were, swearing, doing everything at everyone, not really concentrating on a match, flipping everyone off. I was like, this is like me walking down the street.
You're going to love Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, I've decided. Yeah, after watching Bloodsport, I'm like, how are the English guys this brilliant? And now I need to see more of all of them because they were bloody brilliant.
That's Sabre in every match he does. It's just who he is as a professional.
Mark,
wrestler.
you should just watch more Rev Pro. If you want more Englishmen being Englishmen, just watch Rev Pro.
It's true.
It's right there in your neck of the woods.
And you'll get Mercedes Moné.
No, I'm definitely not watching it then.
I was going to say Andre, that's not a selling point. Just don't say anything. It's not a selling point.
I know. That's why I said it.
I'm fine.
All right. Anything else to add to the quickfire here, Andre?
I watched the clusterfuck, fell asleep. It was like 2 hours into like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours in the clusterfuck. It still wasn't over. I got to see 2 local professional wrestlers, or 3 actually. Stephen Crow, Harlan Abbott, and Vancouver professional wrestler Randy Myers, who has worked here covered in the past. Just great to see people I know in this match. I had a lot of fun watching it until I fell asleep at 3:15 in the morning because again, great match. It's the clusterfuck.
3:15. Me and Tom didn't go to sleep till 4. The thing didn't finish till 4. WrestleMania. By the way, Bobby, I forgot to ask. You know the guy with the longest first name in the history of wrestling? I can't remember his name.
Richard Clark.
Yeah. Did he get to wrestle over? Best name I've ever heard in professional wrestling, by the way. I just wanted Bobby to say because I forgot what it was called.
Yep.
He didn't go to Vegas, as far as I understand.
I haven't seen him.
No, but I do know that he's heading out for a tour of the U.S. coming up here immediately. So surprised he's not in Vegas.
Because you guys can't? Is that because you guys can't book him on Prairie Pro Wrestling?
Oh yeah, I know for sure he's not going to be at Prairie Pro next Saturday. So I know he's heading out on tour on US. So hopefully he comes back because he's got our fucking belt. But enough about the independent wrestling stuff, and back to the main event of WrestleMania Night 2. We have got the championship is on the line. The undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes defending against John Cena. Tom, I want to start with you on this one. Who is walking out the victor?
Going into it until last night, I was pretty confident Cody Rhodes would be retaining. However, given that they've only done the first half of the Seth story, I am now confident we are going to see John Cena leaving with the championship and Seth Rollins left behind to deal with Cody Rhodes.
Okay. Ed?
18th championship, John Cena. He's Boston born and bred. He's an asshole,
17.
but we love our asshole.
I mean 17.
Right.
17, 18. He'll get 18 by the time it's all said and done. He'll lose it and win it again. It's fine. 18.
Yeah. They'll just flip-flop it each week on the show just to rack it up a little bit.
He'll win it. They'll decide to do a second match and he'll lose it, and then they decide to do a third match and he'll win that because they got to go more than 32 minutes.
They change these numbers all the time. They got rid of a load of championships in Charlotte. The only thing we can be certain about the WWE is that Logan Paul's a piece of shit.
Yes. Logan Paul
true.
is a piece of shit. Yep.
Very true.
Very true. All right.
And it's always Day.
Despite the Steiner math on the numbers, Andre, what do you think is going to happen in this championship matchup?
So Cody, I think Cody Rhodes is actually going to make his entrance first in this match, and then we are going to hear some Mexican music play. And it will not be John Cena coming out. It will be his brother Juan Cena making his way out. And Juan Cena will win his first ever WWE Championship.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Mark. All right, Mark. Let us know. What do you think is going to have?
I think we're going to have.
Sorry, but honestly, John Cena is going to win.
I think we're going to have just like WrestleMania Night 2 last year. I think we're going to have a completely batshit crazy main event. I think we're going to see The Rock. I think we're going to have Cody Rhodes will finally get his receipt on Travis Scott. I think that's going to happen. I did make a joke that to help out against Travis Scott, I said Bad Bunny was going to turn up. Just because it was two rap artists, just made me laugh a little bit more. But I do think Roman Reigns might have something to do with it. I think CM Punk will have something to do with it. I think Seth Rollins is going to cost Cody Rhodes. And I think walking out of WrestleMania Night 2, John Cena will be the greatest. Well, he is the greatest of all time, but will solidify himself as the champion of the most and take away that dumbass's record in WWE.
All right.
Can I ask a question here? So when you add the H to the CENA, you can pronounce the H properly. Yes. But when you pronounce the H, both you Englishmen by themselves, neither of you can pronounce it properly. What's going on here?
What are you talking about?
What are you on about?
H.
Yeah. What are you on about?
Yeah, H.
Triple H.
Triple H.
There's no ATCH after this. Just the letter
No,
H.
you need to remember there's no H in the letter
you,
H.
There's no H in the letter H?
No.
Yeah.
Can I just be clear? We created the language. You're a poor imitation.
You lot are younger than us. We created you all. So pipe it.
We're just being rebellious teenagers.
And you go for it. You can sit on the step and just have a great time.
We will.
All right. Now, in this matchup, what's going to happen? Cody's going to come out first with his belt, and everyone's going to do their sing-along shit and everything like that. Cena's music's going to be hit, and everyone's going to wonder, why can't I see this guy? Their commentators are going to act like someone's coming down to the ring. It's going to be completely invisible. Nothing's going to be noticed the entire time. Cody's going to wrestle a match seemingly against the Invisible Man, but it's going to go down as one of the best wrestling matches in all of history. And in the end, Cody's going to lose to the Invisible Man, and we're going to have a new champion.
You know, the
technically, he wrestled this morning.
Was it? Whatever. He wrestled at GCW.
I was going to point that out. The Invisible Man has actually a very good record when it comes to wrestling, as does the Blow Up Doll.
And just like Bacon has got the most title wins in history. But yeah, so WrestleMania Night 2, logic.
Oh God, right, logic. You know, when I'm the voice of reason for
Eddie,
for
you
this show.
okay?
Are you all right?
No,
You seem very
no,
stressed.
I'm really not.
For the last
I
3
am
minutes.
so
You
fucking
know.
glad this is the end of my week and I don't have to do any of this until Tuesday anymore.
I
Like,
just
you
don't
don't
understand what's
understand how
happening.
glad I am.
We're just talking about wrestling. You're going to have pirate ships. This is something that happens with wrestling, okay?
Yes,
It's
yes, but
okay.
when I'm the voice of reason, we've got a problem.
Yeah, but who says you're the voice of reason? You're the only one who thinks
I
you're
am.
the
Have
voice
you
of reason.
listened to any of you talk for the last
no, but-
hour?
Yeah, and we've got our
We
voice
all
of
make
reason.
perfect sense.
You
Yeah.
think you can speak the English language better, which we found out you can't.
Definitely.
And then
not.
we've also discovered that half of your picks are mental. And we've also agreed with you, which means that if we agree with you, you're wrong. So technically, you're in the
I
wrong.
agreed with you.
You're the one
Oh
who's
my
going
god!
crazy.
If he's in the wrong, then Logan Paul's not a piece of shit.
Oh, no,
shit.
no,
Oh, no,
we
no,
can't
Logan
have
Paul's
that.
not-
No,
Sorry,
no.
no,
shit.
forget it.
Even
Forget
a
it.
blind
No,
squirrel
Logan.
finds it out
Logan.
once.
No, that's the
Even
only
a
thing
blind
that's
squirrel
true in
finds it
life.
out.
Not
Logan.
death and
That's
taxes,
the only
but the
thing that
Logan Paul's
stands.
a piece of shit.
Oh, good God.
All right. Anyways, as we're wrapping up, Tom, why don't you tell the wonderful people where they can find you and what great things you got coming up?
Thank you as always for the chance, Bobby. We will be live for Spoiler Warning on Monday and Friday doing a review and all the news that comes out of WrestleMania. But of course, we will also be live for the watch party for the second half tonight. We also have both on YouTube and TikTok. We've been continuing to grow, getting over 200 followers over the course of the last 24 hours on TikTok. You can search Tom Collier there, Tom Collier on YouTube, and find it all there.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ed, how about yourself?
Thankfully, you can't find me anywhere the rest of the weekend. Thank God. Watch all my old content from the rest of the week, whether it be the Wallop WrestleMania 25 rewind review with the boys from Wallop, Ryan, Ryland.
Never commit if you're not sure.
No, I know. It's been a long week, Tom. It's been a long week.
Just name the
Ryland
show
Turner-
and just walk away.
Ryland Turner and Vince Delgado, they were great. They had me on. I'm hoping to be on again. You can find me and Ashton every Tuesday night talking NXT on Taking Over. We had a review of Stand and Deliver yesterday with Jose on the air, where me and Jose talked glowingly about the men of Dark State. It was a fun time. We also talked about the rest of the show, so it was great. I did my night one review with Megan Abrams last night. That was a bunch of fun. We were up late, doing the thing. It was great. Anything else, follow the Our Local Establishment thing. Find us there. I'll be back with Marvel Talk on May 4th on Star Wars Day with Andre. We might be joined by the actual host of Marvel Talk, Peggy, if she decides to show up. But she does have Star Wars Day that she has to celebrate, so she may be too busy to join us. But she's given us permission to at least do the Thunderbolts review without her.
There we go. All right, Andre, where can the people find you? What you got coming up?
Like Ed said, I'll be back on May 4th for Marvel Talk, but I'll be here every Sunday as we talk all the random bullshit that we talk on Sundays here on Point of View. You can find me on X and Blue Sky at That Cannon Guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Cannon Dude, and pretty much that's it for me right now. And go see Queen of the again.
There you go, Mark. How about yourself?
Me and Bobby will be back on here with a pre-recorded POV extra sports chat where we discuss what's happened this week. We did some football or American soccer chat. We talked a little bit about Rory McIlroy's win of the Masters last week. We did some F1 build up to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix that's happening later on today.
Where was the call to me for this? What the fuck?
It was all in the chat all week.
Yeah, he was literally in the chat. And we also did some NHL, looking at the playoffs schedule, what it looks like right now, and the NBA as well. So check that out on Mark Talks Football, doing Football Manager. We are building in the second season of in the Premier League with South Shields, and on WWE 2K25 with Bobby and Lauren. We have got Battleground, which starts tomorrow, and the Underground match that will be happening tonight for the Underground World Heavyweight Championship, where LA Knight will be going 1-on-1 against John Cena. So make sure you go and check that out. Part of the Lost Souls, as they're called, because I couldn't think of a name.
There we go. As for myself, ticker down below. That's where you can find me on all social media. As for what I've got coming up, you can join me on Thursday with Pop Smokes talking Ring Respect Radio, talking about independent wrestling, where we be covering the upcoming Prairie Pro Wrestling show, as well as talking about Josh Barnett's Bloodsport this Thursday night. You can catch us every Saturday afternoon on the Prairie Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, calling a new match from our vault. Make sure to go and subscribe to the Prairie Pro Wrestling over on YouTube for that as well. You're going to be able to join myself and Astrid as we are pre-recording for another edition of Killer Cuts. We're going to be reviewing another movie for you. That's going to be coming up on Friday. And then back with my crew right here next Sunday for Point of View, your weekly favorite sports Sunday stream, all those wonderful names and all the above. And that can all be found on OLE Podcast. OLE Podcast across all social media, as well as YouTube and Twitch, where we appreciate the likes, the follows, the subs, and the comments that you leave after the fact. We're always looking out to reach back out to you. So make sure you leave a comment, get your voice heard here at OLE Podcast. Well, that's it for us this week. Thank you to Papa Smokes, STG, Peggy, to Bobby, to everybody who was active here in the chat. We appreciate you. And we will see you later tonight, where I'll be joined by Ella J for Night 2 post show. We will leave you with our calendar on the way out. Take care, everybody.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Fools are calling that I don't seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming, for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you